Oh.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. You know, perhaps Ramana Maharshi and his
Ramana Maharshi.
Yes, and his disciple.
It's still wrong, yeah.
It's better. Yes, and his disciple Punjaji or Papaji. Yes, so they are talking. What do you think about direct transmission of freedom, like guru to disciple?
It's a dream.
It's a dream because
It's based on the idea that there's someone who has something that they can give to someone else or transmit to someone else. There is no one here and there's no one there and there's nothing to transmit.
Yes.
Because it makes it sound as though it's an object that can be given to somebody.
yeah, of course, but they also speak about Advaita. Advaita.
Well, they speak about Advaita or non-dualism and then they completely contradict it.
Yeah, I
By
know
saying,
that.
by offering people a teaching about becoming enlightened, and that's fantasy.
Yes, but in reality, I know a little bit. They are not teaching something. They are just teaching, like you, Advaita.
No, I'm not teaching.
Yeah, they also say they are not teaching. You just stay in their presence, and that.
Whose presence?
The presence of the master. They are called master.
Again, this is all pure dualism. The idea that you can sit with a master and somehow get something from them is pure dualism, it's pure ignorance. And the idea that there is someone who can be taught how to go along a path from here to there and find something is again pure ignorance. It's a fantasy based on absolute dualism.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Do you want to marry me?
I haven't thought about it yet.
I think I fancy you more than him, really. Sorry, John.
I don't know what to say. No, my question was with all these teachers and all these different traditions. And, I mean, obviously people go there and something something happens energetically also.
I don't know that. Yeah.
Well, that's what I kind of experience or seem that the reason why people follow masters, one reason is that there's some I seem special, or
they seem special and they offer hope.
Okay, yeah.
It's very attractive.
Well, I mean, you've said sometimes that people where awakening has happened, they think that they need to teach now.
Yeah.
And it just seems to me that something, whatever it is, something has happened which isn't the norm, which people...
Well, there is an opening into wholeness, but then thereafter, all the time there's a me, and when it starts to get the idea of somehow communicating something, that energy that arises out of awakening can then return back into the me and glorify the me, or somehow elevate the me and give it an idea that something has happened to it that it sincerely usually thinks it can help other people to have as well. So you're back into a dualism in which me feels that something has happened here that it can help other people find. It's dualism.
And do the pupil reinforce it basically? I mean,
well, the whole thing is a reinforcement of the story of me. There are lots of so-called non-dual teachers, and not non-dual, but a lot of people who call themselves non-dual teachers who feed the fantasy of the story of me becoming liberated. All self-inquiry, all teaching, all of that idea of transference is a personal idea. It's based on the idea that there is a person who can help another person to become personally liberated or enlightened. There is no such thing as an enlightened or liberated person. It's a contradiction. It's the maintenance of the fantasy. There are hundreds and thousands of teachers who reinforce and support the fantasy. Because it's the most popular of all things, the messages of all, somebody helping somebody else to find something. It's really the same as Christianity. It's a nice dream.
Tony, and if you talk to a person like this, or like a teacher, some teacher, you immediately know who he is.
It's very easy to recognize a dualistic teaching because it's based on a progressive path that a person can take to find something. It's a subject-object teaching. That's all it is. It's based on the story of someone finding something called fulfillment or enlightenment. It's easy to recognise. People send me lots of books to write, and usually after one page I can recognise that. It's very easy to recognise. Sometimes it's quite subtle because people try and talk about, there is only oneness, and if there's an acceptance of that, then that's liberation. But it's still subtly something somebody can do. Acceptance. Just accept that all there is present awareness or wholeness. It's still subtly a suggestion that there is something that can be. It's a suggestion that there's something that needs to be done or can happen in time. It's a story.
As we were talking before, you didn't know the man I was talking of, and so because you said it now, may I send you a link to him?
Sure,
a link to him, because I would be curious about your judgment about his teaching.
No, it's not a judgment. It's a clarification of the difference between non-duality and duality. Simply enough. It's just a clarification. It's just an exposure of the dream or the fantasy of there being someone who can find something.
Yeah, but you said that sometimes people send you books and you read one page, and so you.
It's easy to recognise.
Yeah, and would you like to do that with another one?
Not to, I do it all the time, but if you want me to, not right now, but if you give me a book after, as long as there's a waste bin nearby. A waste bin, it's a bin you throw books into. I've got a very big one, it's about that big.
I don't have a paper, just a digital one. So
Sorry?
I only can give you a digital link on the computer. I don't have book.
Okay. Waste a tree.
Okay, non-dual, does it mean this?
Not two.
Yeah, but the immediacy of perception, there's this just, I say now, moment.
No.
I mean, if I hear the bell of the church, I don't have to do any effort, nothing. It's
No, but it's you hearing it.
It's just immediately there, and there's...
Hold on, it's you hearing it, which is dualism.
No, but the moment it happens, I am not hearing it. It's only when I tell you the story afterwards.
Okay.
So when that happens, which does not happen, but is this what you mean with all there is? Is this? This is the non-dual kind of... what do you say, non-dual?
Yeah, what is real and unreal, nothing being everything, the timeless, infinite isness. There aren't any words that can describe it. But there is nothing apart, and there is not two.
I mean, experiencing is only through my sense perception. Otherwise,
well, I don't know what you're describing. If you're describing it as something you hear, that's dualism.
Yes,
you
but the moment
hear the sound. One, you, two, the sound.
No, I don't have to think about it. It just happens.
No, it's not the question of thinking about it. You, one, hearing, two, the sound is dualism. The separation.
I mean, when I tell you, then in my words, it's dual. But the moment it happens, it just happens.
Okay. We're not getting anywhere with this, but yes.
No.
The idea that there is one that can move along a path to find two, something else, is pure dualism. Simple as that. We were talking about teachers or masters who teach dualism.
Now maybe then I did not succeed in expressing what I wanted to.
Well, if there is just what is, that's the end, beginning and end of it. All there is what is. If you're saying to me that what happens there when the sound rings is what is, then that's fine. The end of it. There's nothing to talk about.
Okay.
Tony used the term ignorance.
Ignorance. Yeah.
That means that means there must be somebody who's ignorant.
Absolutely.
But I learned there is nobody. So
the idea that there's nobody is a concept. The energy of me lives in a reality which is ignorant, which doesn't comprehend, which can't see that there is only oneness, and lives in the ignorance of believing that there's a me that's real, that's living in a story. Simple. There's nothing right or wrong with it, it's what happens. Apparently.
Is there anything more boring for you than hearing the same
Well,
question?
it absolutely isn't boring, because it's not happening in duality. It is happening as newness. This is all there is. What is all there is. There's no way that could be boring. The mind might think it's boring, because the mind lives in time and in repetitiveness. There's nothing being repeated here. Everything is new.
Sorry for this.
I shall make everything new. Jesus.
One master said, you have only to watch hard enough and you can find it.
Sweetheart, are we going to go through this again? It's 6 o'clock, yeah?
6 o'clock, right?
But who's going to watch?
For
Christ's sake.
When you watch hard enough, you can find it also in Mickey Mouse. You know, that's between searching.
Absolutely.
Huh?
When there's only unknowingness, and no one to perceive, is there still a mind?
Well, all there is what seems to happen, including the activity of the mind.
Okay.
But it's only what seems to happen, it's only arising in the infinite. So in another way, of course, it's not happening. Nothing is happening. This is no thing happening. It's an appearance. It's a mystery. It can't be. This is nothing. It's a mystery.
Say I love my mother or I love my father, what is it? Illusion?
No, it's just an experience.
What?
It's an experience.
Experience, okay. Who says that this is an experience?
Nobody, nothing says that this is an experience.
So why is it then called an experience?
Well, you could call it marmalade if you wanted. It's just an answer to a question. Well, it's an experience. The illusion is that there's an I that has a mother that they love.
It was off. Tony? So why you don't call it satsang, you call it meeting? Because there's no truth to...
No, not at all. No.
Thanks.
That's why it's called a meeting. It's not true. There's nothing you can get hold of here. You can't own anything. There's no truth. There's nothing to hold on to. The other thing that's wonderful about this is you can't get this right or wrong. There's nothing to hold on to. You can't take it home and try and get it right or wrong. And you can't try and make me not be there. You don't have to try and go away. Some people go away and say, there's no me, there's no me, there's no me, there's no me. So, just all there is what there is. And wherever you go, whatever you do from here now, when you get up here and walk out of here, there'll only be what is. It will never leave you. It can never leave you. It never came and it never went away. What you long for is constantly only what is. Thank you.
Also die Physik zum Beispiel, die auch so